Hi, our team's name is STARS Team, and our product is called FAST, which stands for Fashionable Adaptable Smart Technology.
My name is Alina Zaidi, and I'm the research manager.
My name is Jayla Tava, and I'm the project manager.
My name is Sivarithika Pandian, and I'm the creative design lead. And we go to Ann Richards School for Young Women Leaders, and we're in 8th grade.
Maria Tilkis was the woman in STEM who we were inspired by. She was a scientist and inventor who worked on solar energy technologies. She inspired us to add an environment-friendly rechargeable battery that could be recharged using solar power in the future.
For our project, we used the engineering method. When we did STEM Challenge last year, our project focused on a wearable that detects UV rays to help prevent skin cancer. Due to the adaptable wearable design, this year we were able to expand FAST on its health functions to also cover COVID-19.
The problem. So have you ever wondered if you were in the sun too long? Or have you ever wondered how you social distance yourself correctly? Well, these are the problems we focused on for our project. Nearly 1 in 5 people in the US develop skin cancer by the age of 70, and many of these people don't realize the risk of too much skin exposure. And COVID-19 is currently the #1 cause of death throughout the world. And over 110 million people have been exposed to COVID-19, and 2.4 million people have died. COVID-19 survivors are still susceptible to COVID-19 and need a way to make sure they're not showing symptoms.
This is our purpose. Our purpose is to monitor the UV rays of people who are exposed to the sun and to make sure they are safe during the pandemic. We want to prevent skin cancer by providing alerts when the UV index is very high, and to prevent exposure to COVID-19 and to help COVID survivors with the help of an oximeter, thermometer, and a proximity sensor.
We researched the connection between UV rays and skin cancer, how we can protect ourselves from skin cancer, how to detect if you are social distancing correctly, how you can measure your oxygen level, and if COVID-19 survivors can get it again.
These are the requirements we set for our prototype. So we want our prototype to be fashionable, expandable, and adaptable for different health functions. We also want it to be able to attach to different sensors and use programmable technology. We also want it to be user-friendly, and we want it to use a low power and rechargeable power source, which makes it environment-friendly.
Our idea. We made a prototype that could attach to a person's clothing. We named it FAST, which stands for Fashionable Adaptable Smart Technology. It triggers alerts and buzzes when the UV levels become dangerous, checks if you're social distancing properly, checks your temperature, and tells your blood oxygen level.
These are our testing results. We tested our prototype by shining an LED light on the UV sensor. When the sensor got too much UV interaction, it buzzed and the light changed from green to red, indicating that our prototype was successful. To test our thermometer, we had the temperature threshold at a little above room temperature, and when we put a hand on the lily pad, the lily pad started to buzz and flash a red light. To test our proximity sensor, we put an object nearby to see if it would beep. The sensor beeped, indicating that our sensor worked.
These are the materials that we used for our project. We used the LilyPad PhotoSnap Plus kit, conductive thread and rechargeable battery, a UV sensor, a shirt, which is our wearable, an Arduino IDE for coding, a multimeter to check the circuits, a pocket finger oximeter, a LilyPad temperature sensor, a proximity sensor, and the MIT App Inventor.
These are the experts we consulted with for our project. So in total, we had 3 experts. 2 of them were skin cancer specialists, and 1 was a doctor who worked with COVID patients. Our 2 skin cancer specialists were Joanne V. Hickey, who is a professor in nursing at UT in Houston. Our Our second skin cancer specialist is Dr. Kaiser, who is a dermatologist. And our COVID-19 specialist is Dr. Chen. You can find the questions we asked them in our binder.
New features. Our first new feature was the proximity sensor. It can be hard to know if you're social distancing correctly with a 6-foot distance, so we used our proximity sensor to detect if there's someone next to you, and if you're too close to someone, it will send you a message through our app indicating that you should social distance and be at least 6 feet apart from someone.
Our next new feature is the oximeter. The oximeter is something we use to measure a person's oxygen level. It'll help us see if the person is having trouble breathing, which is a symptom of COVID-19. We'll be adding the oximeter in a pocket of the shirt so it's hidden and safe.
Our next new feature is the temperature sensor. A fever is a symptom of COVID-19. So this year, we're going to add a thermometer, which will detect your temperature and help in identifying whether you're showing a symptom of the coronavirus.
We've also decided to add an app to our project. So we use the MIT App Inventor. We decided to add an app so the user can keep track of their vitals and they can get notified by it without our wearable beeping and flashing loudly.
The first thing we added to our app was the UV exposure. This feature shows the current UV index and how long you've been exposed in the sun. The graph tells the critical level of exposure. And now if you are outside in the sun for too long and you've been exposed in the sun for too long, it will send you a message through our app indicating you should go inside and away from the sun.
Another feature of our app is the social distancing feature. It's supposed to show you how far you are from others and the correct amount that you should be from others.
The next feature on our app is the pulse rate and oxygen level. This feature shows your current pulse and oxygen level, which is important to monitor for COVID-19 symptoms. This is also useful for COVID survivors to watch their oxygen levels as they recover. This also indicates what a healthy resting heart rate looks like.
Our next feature is our temperature sensor. So the temperature feature shows your current temperature and what a healthy and unhealthy temperature would look like. It also alerts you if your body reaches an unhealthy temperature and what you should do about that. And these are some pictures of our app and where you can find it.
Feature improvements. Some of our feature improvements is to add a timer to the chip to see how long you can use it outside, add more health-related sensors, make the device rechargeable using solar power, make it waterproof, and look at cheaper and smaller chips.
These are pictures of our lily pad, our UV sensor, and our wearable.
This is a demonstration of our UV sensor.
This is our shirt, which is our wearable for the project. And as the UV exposure increases, the sensor buzzes and beeps, telling you that you're getting too much UV exposure and you should go inside and away from the sun.
This is a demonstration of our temperature sensor.
As you see, we have a LilyPad ProtoSnap Plus board with the temperature sensor attached to it with alligator clips. This is the code we used for the sensor. When the temperature exceeds a certain amount, it will start beeping and a red LED light will turn on. On our real wearable, the temperature threshold that would set off the alarm would be 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But for now, we are keeping our threshold at a little above room temperature. Now we'll turn it on and demonstrate what it would look like if your temperature went over the limit. You can see that currently no lights or buzzers are on, so your temperature would be fine. Now as we cover it with a hand, the temperature will increase and the LED light and the buzzer would turn on, indicating that you have a fever and you should quarantine yourself from others to prevent exposure. And keep in mind, this is a prototype, and in our real wearable shirt, we will detach these parts and sew them onto our shirt with conductive thread to make it more comfortable.
This is a demonstration of our proximity sensor, and in our real application, it would be set for 6 feet.
Proximity sensor. If this This is our code for our proximity sensor. If an object comes close to the proximity sensor, it will start beeping. Here we have our LilyPad ProtoSnap Plus with the proximity sensor attached to it. As our object moves closer to the sensor, it will start beeping, like so. But as the object starts to move further away, the proximity sensor will stop beeping, indicating that you are at a safe distance.
While coding these features on our wearable, we learned a bunch of different things, such as declaring the variables, initializing the sensor and buzzer, and creating a loop to measure sensor values. Here are some pictures of our temperature sensor code. And here are the pictures for our proximity sensor code.
In conclusion, our team was able to successfully achieve our project's goal in enhancing FAST's wearable design to meet the new COVID-19 requirements and hopefully save many lives in the future. Thank you for listening.